A number of years ago, my dad told me that he had heard about a speech that was going to be given by an ex-POW from the Vietnam War. He decided to go and said that he sat in the audience waiting for the speaker, who was noticeably late. After a few minutes, from the back of the hall, in walked a tan young man in the dress white uniform of a Navy pilot with the rank of commander. He walked with great difficulty, needing the aid of a cane. The crowd hushed in silent respect. After being introduced, he stood at the podium and shared his story. He had catapulted his jet fighter off the deck of a carrier with a couple of others and was on assignment to take out a bridge deep in the enemy-controlled territory of Vietnam. A short time later, they identified the target, and each in turn dove in to carry out their mission. As he came in fast and low, he unloaded his missiles and pulled back on the yoke to climb out of there. He felt the sickening thud-thud of the anti-aircraft fire hitting his plane. It shuddered and lost power. His training took over, and he pulled the lever to eject from his disabled craft. His mind was racing with confusion, but his chute deployed, and he thought everything was going to be fine. When he landed, he hit on a weird angle and felt terrible pain in one of his legs. When he looked down, he saw his blood-soaked flight suit, and when he cut it away, he could see the jagged bones sticking through the skin. Before he could do anything, a group of Vietnamese peasants came out of the bushes and attacked him with butcher knives. He did his best to defend himself, but was no match for their numbers. Just at that moment, a military truck screeched up, and the soldiers chased off the attackers. The leader shouted some orders, and the troops picked up the pilot and roughly threw him in the back of a truck. For 2 to 3 days, he bounced around and was sure that he was dying. They finally arrived at the camp that he was to be imprisoned at. They unceremoniously treated his compound fracture and then threw him into a filthy, musty cell. He was hungry, sick, and in terrible pain. Oh, and he found out that things could get even worse. Every day, a guard would come in, bring him some putrid water and a maggot-infested meal. After questioning and loud screaming, the enemy would savagely beat him with a cane-like stick. This was repeated day after day, week after week. It got to where he passionately hated the guard with every fiber of his being. The hate was mutual. After months of this foul treatment, he knew that he was dying, that it was possibly his last day on earth, and he was resigned to his fate. As he lingered on the verge of death, he heard, or more accurately, felt a voice that said, "It's not your injuries that are killing you, it's your hate." The message was, if he would stop the toxic hate, he could live. From that moment, he decided to change. He decided to redefine the meaning of fun and entertainment. Each day, when his adversary came in and began beating him, he would smile, even laugh, and sincerely thank his antagonist for the personal attention. As he did this each day, he felt a change, even a new power welling up in him. What's more, he noticed that his foe was confused and affected. After a while, the hostile flogging stopped. It just wasn't much fun anymore for the guard. Because of the change in attitude and reaction, there became a change in their relationship. They eventually became, in kind of a weird way, friends. When the war ended and he was finally released from his prison, he even shook hands with and hugged his previous beater, who had now become his buddy. All of this because he took control of his attitude and redefined the meaning of fun. Now, few of us will ever have to endure the circumstances and the torture that this Navy pilot did, but there is much to be gained from his example. By changing our attitude, we can control our circumstances, our health, and even our future. There's real power in this knowledge. The old saying that life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it is true. We are in charge of our attitudes. Now, go out and make it a good day. No, make it a good life.